Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Photography Pubcast. I'm not even going to try and guess which one this is. Is it 7? I just did guess.
If you say so.
I said I wasn't going to guess, and I did. I think it's episode 7, season 4. The 5 of us here tonight because Stuart's are currently en route to somewhere in Scotland, I think. So, but he should be back next week with a bit of luck. But there's 5 of us here. Hello, guys. How are you?
Good.
All good.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah. Dave, you're back. How are you feeling? You haven't been very well, have you?
Rough.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a good start to the year, and what with everything else, it's a bit of a perfect storm.
Yeah.
But there you are.
Not great, but you've committed. You're here. You've even done all the photo competition stuff, haven't you? So you're committed to the cause.
Yeah. My fans are very important to me.
Yes.
Your lot can all bugger off.
So why are you called Flamboy, Dave?
Because I hooked a loogie onto my keyboard earlier today.
Oh,
Just in case you don't know, we've all got our little names at the bottom like we had before. What were you last week, Jamie? You were something Christmassy, weren't you, if I remember right?
Elf. Yeah, the elf.
And Dave this week is Flamboy. So, yes, which gave us all a laugh when he came on, I've got to say. So, how was Christmas, everybody? Did we have a nice time?
yeah. I went to the lakes for Christmas. Helen caught COVID. Tested positive about 2 days after Christmas. She was probably positive over Christmas, in all fairness, but we couldn't get out to get a test, so it hit her really hard. She was in bed for about 6 days. And then I caught something straight after we got home. Not quite as bad as Helen. Well, definitely not as bad as Helen. Not quite as bad as Dave. But yeah, I've been feeling pretty rough. But Christmas was okay for me, actually. I managed to get out a few times. Got 2 photos over that 7 days.
Blimey.
Nothing to speak of, but at least I got out.
You gobbled all over your keyboard at all, or?
No. I'm okay, actually.
Were you in your camper or were you in a hotel or something?
Yeah, we was in the motorhome. So I got COVID about 3 months ago. So I think I perhaps built up a bit of my immunity was quite good towards it, because living in a shoebox for essentially 7 days and me or Helen having it, I can't believe I didn't catch it. So all I can think of was, because I had it about 3 months ago. Yeah, I managed to escape it this time.
Okay. What about you, Sam? Do you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, I did. Hannah and I just holed ourselves up in the house for the week or so of Christmas, which was just perfect, really. Last Christmas, we had both sets of parents came round to visit us. So this year, we were kind of just wanted to have a quiet one on our own. So yeah, it was really nice. The weather's been rubbish, though. I made it out once. I had one morning where I made it out and did a bit of photography. But the rest of the time, it's just been bucketing down. Someone messaged me actually on YouTube to say, "I bet you guys have got some really nice snow up there," and we haven't had any at all. Not down at low level anyway. There's been some on the mountains. So yeah, it's just been a bit dire in terms of the weather. But yeah, it was a nice Christmas though. It's a nice place to be up here when you can just sort of throw the wood burner on, shut yourself off to the outside world for a few days and just ignore the rest of the world.
Nice.
Weather's been awful everywhere, hasn't it? I think we've had awful weather.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get on my cricket square for months now. It's very depressing. What about you, Jamie? Did you get all the toys done?
Yeah, I've got them all delivered. Yeah,
well
busy period, as you know. Yeah.
Well done.
No, it was all right. A bit similar to Daz. Leslie was ill over Christmas. I don't know whether it was COVID or what, but yeah, she was ill Christmas Day, bless her, Boxing Day. But apart from that, it was all right. I as Sam said, the weather's been rubbish, hasn't it? I was hoping to get out with a camera, but I did go out one day. I went on, I can't remember the day, they all merge into one day, don't they, between Christmas and New Year, but one of those days I went to the Peak District again. You remember last time I went to the Peak District and turned around and came back because of the snow?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this time I had a day allocated to photography, so I thought I'll go to the peaks. Weather don't look big great, but I'll just have a wander around, get the camera out. and got to Chesterfield and just got to the other side of Chesterfield heading into the peaks, and my engine warning light came on the car, the amber engine check fault light. So I was thinking, that's not good. What could that mean? Given I'm 2.5 hours away from home, so hummed and hard whether just to ignore it, bugger off with the camera, and then come back to it later and hope it's okay. But the more I thought about it, I thought, well, it's going to be on my mind. If I'm out there with a camera, I'm going to be worried about the car not starting again when I go back to it. So I ended up turning around, heading back into Chesterfield, finding a BMW dealer that had no available mechanics to look at it, and just said, look, it's fine. You can drive home with it, just get it checked. So headed back in the car, stopped at Morrison's on the way back for a pee, got back in the car, and the engine light went off, and it's been off ever since. So now twice my car has decided it doesn't want to go to the peaks, because that's twice now I've been to the peaks and back and not got the camera out. So it is telling me something, isn't it? Yeah.
Don't go up north. That's what it's telling you. Don't go up north. It's not. It's not worth it. It's for the northerners, mate. That's the problem.
I have a voucher buy a Volvo.
Well, yeah, you could buy a Volvo. Yeah, I reckon it's just a southern car, and it just it gets past the Watford Gap and goes, "Oh, can't understand what these lot are saying." I'm going any further up here. Some pretty foreign language going on. Yup.
Yeah. He had no problem going to Exeter and back. So
exactly,
you're right.
He's going down south. You see, he's probably happier. Gets a bit further south. This is my country. Yeah, start getting north of the Watford Gap. Very strange. What are these flat caps all about and whippets? Anyway, that's alienated most of the audience. So happy New Year!
Yeah. Watch our subscriber base go down by 50%.
Well, it might do anyway, because we've got competition now, haven't we? Got a bit of competition. Have you been watching? Have you been listening to the new podcast?
I'll tell you what. I was going to shout out to the F1 guys. Actually, I really enjoyed it. I couldn't watch it. I was listening to it when I was washing the motorhome. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So well done, gents.
I watched it as well, and I thought, yeah. And it's
the F7.1 guys, just to make sure that they don't moan at us for getting their name wrong. Yeah.
Did I say F1?
Yeah. They're racing. Racing cars does. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, F7.1. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it was. I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was. It was good. I couldn't understand what most of them said because they're all from up north, but it was quite enjoyable. It was all right.
The only bit that I watched, I must admit, I did actually because they'd done a photo competition and they was speaking very highly of this owl photo that ended up winning the competition. And I must admit, I stopped what I was doing and scrolled back on the phone to look at it, and that was a cracking image. I don't know who took it, but yeah, brilliant image.
I think the guy who took it watches us as well. I think it was it Robin Chun? I think it was Robin or Robin Lee. Oh God, I might have got that wrong. Whoever it was, I'm sure I recognise the name. Robin, I'm sure it was Robin. It could have been Robin. It could have been Blackbird. I don't know now. I'm confused. I'm sure I recognise the name, but it was a very good photo. So. Yeah, well done, and I'll stick a link below to that podcast because they're definitely well worth listening to. So, apart from
if you like listening to us ramble on, I'm sure you'll enjoy their podcast.
They've got something of an advantage because we've got 4 years of how to fuck it up, and they just come straight in and learn from us.
Yeah, actually, take that link out. Take that link out. Yeah, they're going to be far too polished.
Exactly.
There's enough room for both of us. I would say definitely in the space, and maybe one day we'll do a big get together and we'll all have a fight. I'll fight the one who called me a fat prick. I'll have you, Daz.
Yeah, but that won't be fair, Gal. That'll be about 5-1.
I'm only joking, of course, and best of luck, and we'll put a link below because actually it was quite entertaining. So, and they're a good bunch of guys. What's everyone drinking? Actually, we don't really do that anymore, do we? What's everyone drinking?
No. It's always pretty much the same. I'm still on the Carlsberg.
I'm just on a San Miguel. Yeah.
Dave, a pint of phlegm.
Just a fizzy water.
Oh,
this week.
Okay. What have you just realised, Sam?
Well, I've just realised I've normally got a bottle opener here on my desk so that I can surreptitiously open a second bottle when no one's paying attention to me, and I've realised I don't have one today. So I've been searching all my drawers. I just managed to break a pen trying to open it with a pen. I've broken a battery
Do it with your
trying
teeth,
to open it
Sam.
with a battery.
Get it up.
I mean, I could just go and get
Have you got a table edge?
Well, I've got my desk edge. I'd rather not ruin my desk, though. I've got. If I had a cigarette lighter or a drumstick, I'd be fine. I used to open them up with a cigarette lighter or a drumstick, but I've left all my drumsticks somewhere else. Probably where I left the drum kit. Yeah.
How very thoughtless. Well, I'm drinking Brewdog, which is a Christmas present from my Auntie Frances. Thank you, Auntie Frances. I'm not really enjoying it, but I've got a whole caseload, so I'm just going to go through it. Just go through it anyway.
They're nasty, then. You need to watch them.
Yeah. In my Peterborough United glass, by the way, who are doing particularly well at the moment. Well done to Peterborough. Anyway, moving on.
Posh.
Moving on. So I was going to mention some of the comments, or quickly talk about the comments from last time. We asked a couple of questions, didn't we, last time, about who we'd have to replace us, and I think people got the wrong end of the stick because they're actually really suggesting people to replace us. And people like, I didn't mean like we want to be replaced. I just meant in a comedy world, who would you have? And everyone's gone, no, actually, we'd really like James Popsis on here, please. That'd be great if we could have him. And can we get Gavin on and Courtney Victoria? That'd be really good. Yeah, thanks very much. Well, appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
I must admit, the people they suggested was far better than us.
Yeah.
They've actually gone and thought it through, haven't they?
You've had half of them on here before anyway, haven't you? You had Gavin on here.
Yeah, a lot of people actually always say Lynn. I'd like to see Lynn on, but Lynn has been on a couple of times actually, and we did actually ask Lynn. In fact, we asked her just recently, didn't we? But she couldn't commit.
She's playing hard to get, does.
And we have actually. She certainly is. Yeah, she's doing a good job at it as well. Yeah. But Lynn's great. Yeah,
and there was a comment on here that I really was nice to see. Mr. James Burns, commented and said, something positive, which was quite nice. James, we'll have you back on, mate. If you want to come back on, we'd love to have James back on, wouldn't we? Seriously,
miss James.
we do.
Absolutely.
Miss that.
Really miss James.
So if you ever want to come back on and you're free, definitely come back on, mate. I mean, he didn't offer to come back on. He didn't offer. He didn't say, please let me come back on. He just mentioned it, but I just said it would be nice to have it back on.
But just to call out a positive comment from James, because it never normally happens, does it?
No, exactly.
So,
No. Well, unless you say Boris Johnson's amazing, and then you'll get a positive comment. But
yeah, true.
No, this was just a normal positive comment.
When did he comment? Was it before the new year?
I think
because perhaps he only gets one positive comment a year, and he realised he was running out of time. He's got to use it up. It doesn't overlap. So
maybe. No, it was nice to hear from him. And lots of people. Nick Page commented this week as well, which was nice. Nice to know you still watch, Nick. Much appreciated. John Gibbs was another one who commented. So there's nice. I mean, I'm not just picking out like good photographers. There's lots of people who comment every week who we really appreciate as well. But most of them want someone else on the podcast. So that's like all right, fair enough. So thanks very much for those comments. A few people called out Jamie and said, like, at least he showed a bit of Christmas spirit with his elf costume that the rest of us didn't bother with. So thanks for that, Jamie. Oh God, he's gone early, hasn't he?
I've got Christmas nuts left over. Got to be eaten up.
Talking of Christmas nuts, how are yours, Gal?
I'm all good, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm essentially back to normal really now. I'm all right. So, and thanks for letting the cat out the bag on that last episode. I really appreciated all the comments that I got on that. So, thank you very much. But yeah, I'm fine now. I can.
So you didn't have pigs in blankets.
I couldn't face one. Dave. I was just too close to home. It brings back too many memories. So yeah. I'm not a fan of pigs in blankets, though. Anyway,
how can you not like pigs in blankets?
I'm not,
because they're always smoky bacon. But it's always smoky bacon. And do you know what? Do you know
cheese and onion instead or something?
Yeah, that'd be nice. No, do you know what else I don't like about them? Is that the bacon stops the pig, the sausage, from getting crispy. So it's always a flaccid pig. I know one wants a flat.
Oh, it's nothing
no
worse.
one wants a flaccid pig, do they?
Nobody wants that.
Exactly. No. So If I'm going to have a pig, I'll have it without the blanket. A cold,
Your wishes come true.
a cold pig is a happy pig. That's what I say. Anyway, let's actually move on to something serious now. We're doing a photo comp, aren't we? Because Dave's been working away really hard, compiling all of our results. Before we start, I would really like to say that please enjoy my selection because no one else is going to pick them. I think we've worked this out, haven't we? Every year, you guys all pick the same, and I pick a totally different bunch.
You might have jumped jumped into.
Well, we're going to hand this over to Dave, and you can take it from here, Dave.
Okay, right. Well, let me just quickly explain how we've gone about this. If you have forgotten what happened last year. It's very straightforward. Nobody knows anything about anything, least of all me, who's trying to organise it. So each of us has picked our top 5, and we're going to just quickly go through our P5, and then we'll go around and talk about our P4, 3, 2, 1. And the reason we did it that way, and nobody knows whose pictures are whose, with the obvious exception of me, and I'm completely unbiased. You can't buy me. You ask Small Rig. Can't be done. So, or K&F Concept or any other cheap Chinese knockoff. So the scores are essentially based on where you're positioned, and then we aggregate those scores, and that gives us a final rundown. And then we need to have a bit of a debate so that we can separate some tied places. But we're going to start by just having a chat through each of our selection for our number 5. In other words, the equivalent of a commended if you're in a club competition. Obviously, we're not going to get Stu's input, but it's Stu, so he's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just, there's nothing else to add. So I'll just share my screen. What I've done here is I've put the thumbnails on a grid.
Yeah.
And I've set my screen up. So at the moment, you can only see those that we each voted for as P5.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to, because the thing about it is that none of us or none of the other guys know who voted for what. So this is a reveal to them. So I'm going to try and do it in sequence and keep some mystery about it. So here we are, P5. This end column here is Stuart's column. So this is Stuart's selection for P5, which is this is from Ellis Wood, and it's a Norwegian shot. And so obviously I'm not going to try and explain what Stu saw in it because, that's Stuart's anyway.
Yeah.
So
who'd like to own up to this one?
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my. You remember last year I did the scrapyard, and you all said, "Why did you pick that one?" Well, this is my this year's scrapyard because this is to me an agnostic location shot. It could have been shot anywhere in the country, anywhere at all. It's a place. It's a little scene that we all walk through. Nobody would bother generally to take the camera out and shoot it. But I just, for some reason, it just grabbed me, and I just liked it. It's nicely framed. I like the vignette that he's put to focus the eye in the middle. There's a bit of frost there, and as I say, it's a shot that generally people wouldn't take, but I just think it just worked for me. I think if you probably put the the Fibonacci golden spiral over the top of it, it probably works perfectly with this shot, and maybe that's why it appealed to me. I don't know, but yeah, I just a very simple composition, nice little framing, and it just jumped out at me as a shot that I would have taken if I was in that position, because it's an environment that most of us walk through and generally would ignore. So yeah, I thought good on him.
So that's from Carl Callaghan.
Well done, Carl.
Yeah, well done, Carl.
Well, Carl.
Nice picture. At this stage of this review, I'm just going to be revealing names because the titles will come when we get to the sharp end and do some discussion around them.
Okay.
So there's this one. I think this is yours, Darren, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is from somebody called Nigel. That's all we know. That's all I got from him. I don't know which Nigel it is. If you're called Nigel, feel free to claim it.
Well done, Nigel, whoever you are.
Well done, Nigel. Yeah, I looked at this photo. I looked at them all first of all when I was in the lakes, and I kind of looked at them on my phone, and I skimmed past this photo quite quickly. And then when I got home and I put it on the 27-inch monitor, I really liked it. And I think perhaps I liked it a lot because I'm very familiar with this type of shot, not necessarily for photography, but I've seen that kind of sunrise over the fells many a times when I've been hiking. And it just kind of brought back a lot of memories for me. So the more I looked at it, especially on a larger screen, the more I really liked it. And,
Isn't it sunset, though?
Is it sunset? I don't
know.
No
well, idea.
Either, I don't know. I don't know where it was taken, but yeah. But I just there's been so many times I've been walking in the dark, and then you just saw the sun, or for me, the sun rise over the fells, giving that nice layer in. Really enjoyed that photo.
Okay. This one from Lawrence Smith.
That's me.
Yeah, go Sam.
Yeah, so this is one. So I'm sure we're probably all in exactly the same boat where we all had to pick our top 5, and there were quite a few images for me which kept sort of going into the top 5 and coming back out again, and just the standard of photography was so high that actually choosing 5 and putting them into some kind of order, I found really difficult. But this was an image which kept coming back to me, and I think probably one of the things which appealed to me about this image is it felt to me like the sort of image which I would like to take, and I really liked the light on the trees. I love the mist rising from the lake. I don't know where this is. I guess I would guess maybe the Lake District or somewhere like that. I don't know if anyone knows where it is.
I think it's Llindinas in Eryri.
Okay. Yeah. It's where Dave said. But yeah, no, it's an absolutely beautiful photo, and it just appealed to me. It's the kind of photo that I myself would like to take, and for that reason I think it really stood out to me. Beautiful light, and with that heron there as well. The heron just makes it.
I saw this one myself, and I nearly picked this. I've got to say,
so did I.
I nearly picked it.
And just echoing what Sam said, this was actually in my top 5.
I think it was in mine at one point as well, and I really nearly picked it.
It was tough. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
So I'm glad someone else picked it. I don't feel so bad now.
Right, Gary. So this is by Des Gardner.
Yeah. Do you know this was one of the early ones that showed up? I love the simplicity of it. It's not technically difficult shot. There's nothing amazing about it, I guess, but I just really like it. I like the bokeh of the lights. I like the little loop over the top of the moon. I just really like it. It's just one that stood out to me, and I decided really early on with this competition that I'm not going to go into technicalities and pixel peep and talk about, you might have done a bit of this here and you might have done a bit of that there. I just picked the photos that spoke to me. And this one was really simple, but it spoke to me, and I kept coming back to it. There, I'm sure everyone else will agree, there were probably about 25 photos that you could have put in the top 5 really easily, and it was a bit of a toss-up between them all. But this one kept coming back to me. So, yeah, I just really like it. So well done, Des.
Yeah, well done, Des.
Well done, Des.
I must admit, for me, I agree with you all entirely that you end up with images going in and out of your top 5 the more you look at it. Yeah. But I think by doing that over time, they gradually settle down. It's like sort of sediment settling out. You kind of, you look at them and because you keep coming back to them. And my criteria is, well, would I put it on my wall? Would I get bored of it? And, I'm not worried about technicalities either for the most part. There are some that I really liked, the subject composition, light, and the technicalities really weren't done very well at all. And for that reason, I wouldn't have been able to put them on the wall. So You can't get away from that. My number 5 is this one from Mike Richards.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it is. I got a suspicion it might be Japanese, but he didn't give us any information to go on.
I think it's Asda Car Park, Coventry, Dave.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the boating lake with the pedalos.
That's right.
Just a rather large puddle.
Yeah.
But I just really like this juxtaposition of the row of trees and the tree reflections, which in itself is a standard piece of photographic artifice. But then you've also got the mountain and you've got the light, and it works really well. I'll be honest, it has a flaw for me in that it's got this couple of old birds' nests.
Yeah, they're
still
not in the
tree
reflection, are they?
branches here.
They're not in the reflection.
Reflections can be
Wait.
wishy-washy.
I
see
think-
what I did there.
I think that's not a bird's nest. I think that's a leaf on a tree that's on the same side of a bank. If there's some branches hanging
it's
over,
closer.
which is why they're not reflected.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Sam. Yeah, but for me, I would have still cloned those out because they're slightly distracting in the overall. Because all the other detail is quite fine, and they are a bit in your face. So all I would say, Mike, is that had they not been in it, I would have placed this higher. It's still, it's firmly in my top 5. So.
Yeah, nice
So I
shot.
don't want to jump in again like I did a minute ago, but I'm going to anyway. But yeah, so that photo, that was actually in the top 5, but it was what I thought were birds' nests. It wasn't in the reflection, and it just looked like the crop there was slightly more reflection on the bottom half, like below the mountain, and in the top half. And I thought, if that was me, I'd perhaps just crop it so it was equal. But that's really minor nitpicking. I agree with you, Dave. I think that's a cracking.
It's
photo,
lovely,
that.
isn't it?
And I say it was in and out of my top 5.
But I think Sam's hit the nail on the head with that. Actually, that is foreground leaves
Yeah,
there.
it is,
So
because you can see the ones crossing at the top.
yeah. Well spotted, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we go on to our highly commendeds?
Yes, let's do that.
Yep.
Okay, I'll open up with Stuart's as we did before because he can't account for himself. This is Stuart's.
Oh, Thornham.
Yeah.
Very nicely technically produced image, I must say.
Yeah.
This is another one I looked at several times. Do you know what? This is the problem. I think that I discounted this one because I was familiar with it, and that's that's bad, really, and it shouldn't have. But I think it's because I'm familiar with that shot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that I discounted it, and I probably shouldn't have. So sorry, Martin. I feel a bit guilty about that, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of did the same because there were a few photographs who I knew the photographer, who I knew who had taken it, and I thought actually, I probably should be
Who is
impartial,
that? Oh,
so
it's
I
Martin.
didn't select them. But yeah, but that is a beautiful shot, Martin. It's great job.
Yeah, it's a nice composition. That cracked mud there is great foreground, and obviously, as most of us know, the old boat that was in front of it is long gone now.
Yeah.
So if that boat would have been there, it would have probably not worked as well, because this actually works quite nicely with the way that mud flat just leads
does,
nicely
yeah.
into the
Yeah.
coal shed. So
But I mean, to be fair, he's a really good photographer, so
He
you'd
is.
Yeah, he is,
expect him
absolutely.
to produce that sort of quality.
yeah,
Right.
nicely edited as well.
We'll go in reverse order this time round on the highly commended. So this is mine. This is from Bernard Brunet, who's
Bernard.
yeah.
Right, Bern.
I don't know which camera system he used for this because he gets a new one every week.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is shot in Northwest Territories in Canada at a sort of 30 degrees below freezing. The reason I picked this is because I found it really evocative of one of my all-time favourite photographs ever, an Ansel Adams image called Moonrise over Hernandez, New Mexico. I love that amount of negative space with the moon in it like that. It just appeals to me. I don't know why. I've tried to emulate it and failed miserably. But I like the way Bernard has positioned the snowy track so that sort of S-curve sweeps you up towards where the moon is. And And I don't know, perhaps since I went up to Norway, I've just got this thing about snow and ice, and it just turns me on a bit. So that was my selection for highly commended. And technically, it's an excellent shot. Really nicely done.
Yep, really nice.
Lovely colours in that. Yeah.
Okay, so next will be Gary, I think.
Yep. I picked this one. There was two actually that I'm pretty.
This is
Go on, sorry.
Martin Evans. Yeah,
Pretty sure there's two from the same guy. There was this one, and there was a waterfall that was sort of coming towards you. Is this what's this place called? Penmanchow Bridge or something? Is it?
close enough.
Yeah. What is it called, Dave?
Penmachno.
Yeah, that's it. Penmanchow. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Chinese version.
Yeah. No, I just this sort of shot really like sort of does it for me anyway. I love the processing on it. It's good subject material. He's framed it well. I just really like it. I nearly picked weirdly ago was this one, and there was also another shot which was like of a waterfall with the water sort of rushing towards you, and they were both in and out of my top 5 for a while. And actually, I had that one at number 4. And then I switched it last minute for this one. Interesting, my wife says it's over-processed because I run everything past her. She said, oh, no, it doesn't look right. But I love that process and that soft sort of processing. So, I just really like it. And I know it's an obvious place, but I just think it's a really good example of a shot from there. So that's why I picked this as my highly commended.
Yeah, I like this one as well. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one, Martin.
Well done. Okay, so this is Sam, I think.
Yep. Well, I had to have a wildlife.
Adam Thomas.
Yeah, well, I had to have a wildlife shot in there somewhere, and I'm a big fan of puffin images, and I thought Adam actually got this one just right. I'm a big fan of these shots where you have the high contrast, dark background, underexposed background, and a well lit animal. And in this case, we've got this puffin, and I thought the lighting on the puffin was brilliant. I liked the composition. I loved how it was offset. You've got a little bit of negative space, which the puffin's moving into on the left-hand side. Technically, it was spot on. So yeah, just a brilliant image of a puffin. There were a few images of puffins. I don't know whether they were all maybe they were all submitted by the same person, but this one really stood out to me and was my favorite one. So yeah, great shot.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Yeah,
it's a good shot.
Really good shot.
None of us picked the same so far, have we?
Yeah.
Highly commended, Adam. So this one is Darren, I think, from Alan Coles.
I don't. Oh, was that from Alan? Oh, okay. There was a shot that I saw in the competition that I thought may have been Alan's, but not this particular shot, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't shoot a lot of woodland, as you know, but this one really jumped out at me. The only thing that I must admit that I looked at this photo and it was the leaves on the ground, and I thought, oh, if that was me, would I darken them down a little bit, because my eye kept going down to the leaves. But I say that's just my kind of personal opinion. But apart from that, I think this is a cracking photo, and if I shot woodland, this would have been a photo that I would love to have captured myself. And I think the crop on this as well is brilliant. He's absolutely nailed it. So yeah. Okay. So now I know it's Alan Coles. Well done, Alan.
I'll tell you something else about that as well. I think I've been there, and that is an incredibly difficult place to shoot. I'd imagine in fog like that, it's a bit easier. I mean, he's done a brilliant shot. I knew this one was Alan's. I think I sort of, guessed this one was Alan's. It's a very, very difficult, busy, difficult place to shoot, and he's done a great job of it. So well done, Alan.
Yeah, It is a lovely shot. I didn't know it was Alan. It was Alan, but it was a great shot. As you say, Dan, the composition's great. I love the way that tree on the very right-hand side sort of just stops you from going out that side of the frame and pulls you back in again.
Yeah.
it sort of anchors it nicely. So yeah, it's a lovely job. Well done, Al.
Okay, so Jamie, over to you, and this is from let's have a look, David Ball. But there's no more information about where it is or what it is, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm assuming this is a drone shot. No, that's
It's
that's
E. coli.
pretty-
It's E. coli through a microscope.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I'm guessing
you
it's
go.
a drone shot because he didn't send me a title and the file name was something like
There you go.
DJI003.jpg.
Gives it away. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because I wouldn't normally have picked a drone shot, but it's. I think was it Stu said in one of his videos a few weeks ago about people using abstract versus close up, and they should be using close up. I don't think this is a close up if this is a drone shot, is it really? So I think this must be classed as abstract in that case. But yeah, I just like the composition. I think worked quite nicely. The abstract nature of it. We know it's a drone shot, but I guess people that aren't into photography wouldn't know that, and they just see it as an abstract shot with nicely composed with shapes that work quite well. I think this is, in a way, this is a shot that I kicked myself about not taking when I had my drone out years ago. Funnily enough, at Thornham, where we were just talking about Martin's shot, because there's a salt marsh there in that area at Thornham. And I had my drone up and I was taking some footage for the video, and I kicked myself that I didn't do a top-down shot of the salt marshes similar to this, because they make some really nice abstract shots. But I think it is all about the composition, because it's very easy to stick your drone up and take an abstract shot. But if you're not thinking about your composition, then it just becomes a bit of a mess. And I think David's done well here with his composition. I think it works really nicely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great shot. That. Be interested to know, David, where it is, if you want to share that with us.
Yeah. I'd like to know. Okay, let's move on to our third place images then. And again, we'll start with Stuart's, which is this Deer at Sunrise by Stephen Darlington.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Very good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see why he's
it
picked
does
it.
what it says on the tin, deer at sunrise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You should have put deer at sunrise in mist under tree, though, to be more accurate. Really.
I might be paraphrasing. We've only got an hour and 3/4.
Yeah, no, nice
That's
shot,
nice.
Stephen. Really nice.
And
Okay.
as we
Thanks
say,
for
as
that,
it's
Stuart.
Stuart, it'll be the right one. So well done.
Well, he's right, isn't it? I see. It's
Yeah.
just that's P3. End of.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Jamie.
Yeah, there was a few hoarfrost shots that I saw in this, and obviously I'm a great lover of hoarfrost shots, having taken a few myself. So this one, I think, against the others, it stood out to me, and it was because of the light more than anything else. All the contrast and the light mixed together. You've got the arrangements of trees in the middle, but this is all about that light streaming in from top left-hand corner, and not just illuminating the trees, but illuminating those grasses in the foreground as well. And I just thought that worked really nicely. As we said at the very beginning, there's certain shots that just stood out and pulled you in, and this was one of them. I could have picked any of the hoarfrost shots because they all were cracking, if I'm honest. But yeah, this particular one, I like the processing. I like the light more than anything else, and the fact it was a little bit more contrasty than some of the others in there, I thought worked quite nicely. So
I mean,
yeah,
this
really
this is from one of our regulars. This is from Thomas, who I think he got P2 last year
Yeah.
for that
Ah,
golden
yes.
coastline shot.
Yeah. At Norfolk,
yes, he
wasn't
did.
it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thomas Stawinski. I hope I pronounced
Yep.
that correctly, Thomas. Sorry if I butchered it. But, I'm used to things getting butchered with this lot trying to pronounce Welsh names. Now it's my turn. But no, I totally agree with you, Jamie. Really nice shot. And,
Yeah, it was a good shot.
this drifted in and out of my top 5 quite a few
And mine.
times.
And mine.
Okay, moving on to Darren.
Well, I think this might have been the photo that
It was.
Gary was referring
Yeah, it
to.
was.
Yeah. And do you know what? I had this in and I took this out, and I had this in and I
Yeah.
took it out again. And then I realised that the reason that I took this photo out was because I thought, you know, you see a lot of photos like this. Perhaps it's classed as low hanging fruit. And I thought, you know what? That's all the things that I don't like about camera club judges when they have that kind of opinion. And I thought, no, do you know what? Just enjoy this photo for what
It's
it
so
is.
well
Stop
done,
trying
isn't
to stop trying to second guess, you know, kind of like what other people are thinking. And I love this
Yeah, me
photo. I
too.
really do.
Yeah.
I think he's controlled the water
Yeah.
superbly. I think he's processed it fantastically. And I love the tones in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once I kind of pulled that stick out my arse and started, you know, becoming a camera club judge, I just took it for what it was, which was an absolutely superb photo.
I agree.
So this is
Totally
Martin
agree.
Evans again, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should have said.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was in and out,
Okay.
in and out of mine.
So next one is Sam, Paul Hammett.
Yeah. Well, I see someone else has chosen this in this position too. I'm not sure who else chose this, but yeah, this was one of the ones which really actually stood out to me pretty early on when I saw it. Yeah, it's just a great shot. And it was one of the ones which for me floated about always up the top there in my rankings. I don't know where it's taken. Somewhere cold. Yeah, it's cold. But yeah, I was. I tell you what it was. So I was looking through. I've got a photography book. It's probably on the shelf behind me there somewhere. It's Outdoor Photography magazine, and the Outdoor Photography. Outdoor Photographer of the Year awards, which they've stopped doing now, but they had it a few years ago, and they had a category in that which I can't remember what it was called, but it was all about sort of action shots, and this was the sort of image which I could see doing really well in that category. And yeah, it was just the fact that it's just something different from the normal kind of landscape shots that you see. You see an awful lot of shots of the blue ice, sort of caves and things, but have an actual action shot of someone skiing through it, and it's just brilliantly executed. So yeah, fantastic image.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to be fair, that's why I also placed it third. I think it's almost certainly somewhere around Zermatt, because that's where Paul lives and operates. I've always been a fan of Paul's work, in particular when he does his sports photography. He's a good landscaper, but the amount of work that he puts in to set up a shot, there's a really interesting YouTube video, and if I can dig out the link, it's worth sharing it, because it's an amazing video. We all stand in front of a camera and go, hello, today I'm taking a picture of this thing here. Paul is hanging off with ice axes, dangling upside down on a rope, getting his shot lined up, and then he shouts action and somebody does something amazing and he captures it beautifully, technically brilliantly. What I like about this is I love the way he's also featured all the shapes and textures in the ice. It would have been very easy to center the subject a little bit more. And I like the context of the skier. But just knowing how Paul operates, I'm willing to bet this was a huge amount of prep, because obviously that snow was pristine before the guy came barreling through. And I'm guessing it's underneath a glacier or something. So pretty dangerous place to be dicking around. So I totally agree with you, Sam. Very sound choice for P3, I would say.
I feel really bad because this shot was my original P3. And I took it out. And the reason I took it out, well, one of the reasons, the only thing that I found just with this shot was just the black in the bottom right-hand corner. And I just it's an amazing shot, and it was there for so long in my top 5, and I just took it out because I was like, I don't like that black in the bottom right-hand corner.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at what you picked instead, shall we?
Right, okay.
You should have got that stick out of your arse.
Well, that's quite black, isn't it?
No, but
Look at all that black.
The other reason I picked this one, though, is because I thought, as a street photographer, I need to put a street photography shot in to show a bit of solidarity for the street photographers. And I picked this one basically because I know exactly, and this is on the way from Waterloo Station along the embankment, and I love the atmosphere in this shot. I love the fact there's a little walker just sort of 2/3 down the image. And honestly, I feel bad now because you guys have picked Paul's image, and no, because I do love that image as well. And it was in until literally it was on my list, Dave, that I sent you. The number was on the list until I went, no, I've got to put a street shot in.
We should just credit the photographer here. This is Howard Davies.
Yeah, and Howard Davies, Howard, you've
yeah.
taken a fantastic shot. Actually, I don't want to take away from your shot because it is a beautiful image. I love the red in it as well. It's really sort of quite evocative because that, if anybody knows, that wall is the wall of with the hearts on for the people who've died from COVID, which is another reason that it sort of kind of speaks to me a little bit as well because there's more about the context as well as the shot. But I did take Paul's out to put this one in, so I feel a bit guilty. But then you guys have picked Paul, so I don't feel too bad. Anyway, well done. It's a great shot, Howard.
Well done, Howard.
Well, just on this photo, Gal, I must admit, I really like this. I looked at this for a long time, and I kept coming back to this photo. And again, I'm not trying to be kind of picky, but do you know what? My eye keeps being drawn.
Is it the bin?
So what looks like like that aircon unit or something on the left-hand side on the building.
Oh, okay.
The square, the top left-hand side.
Oh,
and
okay,
every time I
okay.
look at this photo, I can't help my eye being drawn up there.
Well, thanks, man. I noticed
thinking,
that.
No, I hadn't noticed
what is that thing?
Yeah.
Rather than looking down the photo. And again, far be it from me to give anybody advice, but if that was my photo, I think I would just crop it in up to the tree.
A little bit from the left, a little bit from the right, perhaps.
You guys haven't noticed it, so it can't be a big deal. But for me, I keep looking up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so our runners-ups, again, starting with Stuart. Guess what?
Hey!
He's done that just to wind me up, hasn't he? Shingle Street, eat your heart out.
Yeah, but imagine it without that sky.
Yeah, imagine it without that sky.
But that's
seriously.
how you mostly see it. You mostly see it in black and white.
Yeah,
don't you?
imagine it
That's the
without
thing,
that sky. It's just a. Yeah, it's great. It's a good shot though. Who took that
I think
one?
it's a lovely shot.
That's the same.
That's
the
Michael
same
Clark.
one, isn't it? That's the same one that was on the Facebook page, right?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
is a cracking
Good
shot.
on you, Michael.
I'll lead out on my runners-ups. This is my runner-up from John Appleton. I mean, it leapt out at me. It was a toss-up between this and another one for the top spot. I have the slightest of issues with this stalk over here on the right. I would have done some gardening. I wouldn't have attempted to clone it out. I would have walked around the side of my subject or my composition and just snapped that away. But other than that, what a lovely, sublime shot that is. That's the sort of thing I could hang on my mantelpiece and sit and look at it with a whiskey in my hand.
I take it John Appleton is JP Appleton, is it? Do we know?
I assume so. Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, great photographer. Does a lot of minimalist work, doesn't he? It's Jack, isn't it? Jack Appleton. I think.
Oh, well, it's not then.
John.
It's John. This is John.
John Appleton.
Oh, it's John. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's different then. I think that's Jack, the one that you're thinking about.
You see, I would have picked this one, and this was close again, but I thought it was too busy down the bottom a little bit. That's the only reason.
I looked at it exactly the same way as what.
Sorry, that's my Siri going off. Sorry.
I had exactly the same thought as Dave, and I think we talked about this. That little teasel branch or teasel stem on the right hand side, if it had a teasel head on it, then I think. But we're really picky because the atmosphere of the shot is beautiful. I agree with Dave completely. It's just a gorgeous shot, but just that teasel head without, the teasel arm without the head was the thing that was why I didn't put it in mine. And it's really picky because we shouldn't be.
No, you're right. It is. That's why it was P2 for me, but it's still a cracking shot.
It is beautiful.
It is a beautiful shot. Yeah.
Okay, so Gary, your P2 is from John Rigby.
Yep, just simple. Again, like I said, I didn't go on technical brilliance, or I just looked at that and thought it's just a really lovely shot. Just makes me feel very sort of at peace,
Calm.
Yeah, the tones are beautiful on it. It's pretty sharp from what I can see. It's well taken. It's just a lovely mood. It just made me feel calm. So no, I just loved it. I mean, look, I'm not much of I always pick different from what everyone else does, but I just thought that was just a really lovely sort of.
No, it is.
Yeah,
It is a lovely shot.
Yeah.
It is a lovely shot.
That-
I totally agree.
That was one which
There's not much you can add to it, Gal. That's why I was being a bit quiet.
well, there's
because
not a lot.
it's exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's just a simple shot.
It's a really good
but
shot.
it's evoked an emotion in you, so it's worked, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Who's that
but,
from?
there's actually John Rigby.
Oh, well done, John.
Yeah,
John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, well done, John.
Yeah, demand a
John.
recount.
I didn't know that. So
No, I know you didn't. What I think is actually worth mentioning on this, though, is that the positioning. I mean, he might have stood and waited for the swan to glide into that specific position, or he might have relocated himself. But the balance between the swan and the hint of a tree in the background,
Yeah.
spot on. Isn't
the,
it?
the
works really well.
overall, I mean, that's a masterclass in composition for me.
Yeah. And there's a nice bit of space above the tree and below the swan to balance it
Yeah,
out nicely.
it's textbook.
And it's tonal. It's got a really nice tone.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
So Thomas again.
Yeah, I think that was
This is
my
Sam.
Yep, that was my second pick, and very similar to Jamie's comments when he mentioned this image as well. I had as Jamie said, there were a few Hoarfrost images, and they were all really, really good. This one was the one which stood out for me for the same reasons as Jamie mentioned. It's for colours, and I'm guessing apologies if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing there's been a little bit of split toning going on here with the blue, and actually I think it does work really nicely in this image. And it was the light, the way that the light spills down from the top right hand corner, the way it just illuminates that tree, and then you've got the contrast between that light and the dark areas of the image as well. It was one where I wasn't sure where to place it, and in the end I sort of actually rearranged my top 5, and I was like, this is going second for me. So yeah, absolutely stunning image, and really, really, really nice work.
Yeah, well done, Thomas.
yeah, well done.
Yep.
Darren, this is Glenn Jameson, I think. Let me just double check. Yes, Glenn Jameson.
Well, again, I glossed over this a little bit on my phone, and it wasn't until I looked at it on the bigger monitor, and then studied it a little bit harder, that I realised how much I like this photo. And again, I've seen conditions similar to that while I've been hiking, but I've never managed to pull off a photo as nice as this ever. And I think it's kind of testament really to the standard of the photos when we kind of nitpick a little bit, because that's all we're doing. The only thing I think I would have changed in this photo I would have perhaps cropped down a little bit from the top, because there's quite a lot of sky not doing a great deal. But again, I think that is just testament to how good these photos are when you have to pick out very kind of minor details. But apart from that, when you look at this on the big screen, lovely photo. Really enjoyed looking at this.
Yeah.
It is a nice shot, nicely composed, really nice.
It's one of those things where you look at it and think, God, I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you crawl out your tent and it's horizontal rain or just blue sky, and you think, oh, bloody hell. So well done there. Excellent. Jamie. Oh, look,
we've got this one again. Yeah. And again, I guess without wanting to repeat what, who was it that picked this one, Anna? Daz, what Daz says, because everything that Daz said I totally agree with, and it was the reason I chose it. I don't generally go for waterfall shots. I'm not a waterfall photographer, and it's sort of thing that for me they all look very samey, but this one didn't. It just had so many elements that worked so well. And you're right about, you know, the speed he's used for the water, I think was perfect. But the effort, and I'm not sure whether he's actually in the water or whether he's on a rock on the other side, but the low angle that he's chosen for this really emphasises that flow of the water in the foreground. And I like the fact that he's either been lucky with the light at the top corner above the bridge and it's not blown out, or he's used some type of a, you know, glow to filter it down a bit. But none of it really jumps out at you. There's no great highlights in the shot. It's all edited really nicely. It flows well. Obviously, the composition works perfectly, as you know, that lovely S-bend there. But yeah, I just thought it was just a really well executed shot all round and deserved to be in my top 5.
Yeah, here again. Okay, so top spot. We'll start with Stuart's top spot.
Okay.
And guess what? Stuart's gone for John Appleton again.
Well, shall I talk about this as well? Because I also chose this as my top spot.
Go for it, Sam.
Yeah. So obviously I'm right because Stu chose it as well.
Well, yeah.
And we've all agreed that Stu is right. This for me was, again, one of those images which just stood out as being brilliant. And I know what you guys are saying about that bit of headless stick on the right hand side. That honestly did not bother me, because in every other sort of aspect, this photo for me was just so well executed. It's sharp throughout. The sharpness of those thistles, even on you know, at the resolution we're looking at these at, you can just tell that it's been a really well technically executed shot. But it's just so much atmosphere in this image, and the frost on what do you call them? Teasels.
Yeah.
Teasels. The frost on the teasels. Yeah, I don't think you should feel bad for not breaking that bit on the right hand side at all. In fact, I'd rather leave it in than go about snapping bits off, to be honest. But I think it's just a fantastic shot.
You know what?
I'm interested to know if Darren would crop a bit off the top, because there's not much going on up there.
You know what it's missing? Swan. If that a swan, then it would be a winning shot. It needs a swan.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Thanks,
other
Sam.
thing about gardening out that twig or whatever is that it might have also disturbed the frost that was on the other thing. So if you did that,
exactly.
so it might not have worked as well.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
it would have to be sort of forensic gardening, but
Oh,
I would have still attempted it. I kid you not, I would. Okay, so we've done Sam. Let's do Darren. Stephen Blake.
Yeah, there was no doubt in my mind. I put this at number 1, pretty much on the first scroll. And even though the others got moved about a little bit, and some came in and some came out, this always stayed at number 1 for me. And the winning image from Sam and Stuart, I really like that shot, funny enough, so much so I didn't even put it in my top 5.
Me too.
I did, because I found that I was choosing almost like similar images, and I wanted to kind of break it up and put other things in. But I just looked at this kind of wintry scene here, and I just thought I could just imagine this being framed and hanging on the wall. And I said I've had like minor little things. Perhaps a little bit off the sky. I'll lose that air conditioning unit, and one of my images I know has got a dust spot on it. You know, silly. But there is nothing I would do any different to this. This is an absolute stunner for me.
You know what I'd put in?
A swan.
Swan. It's missing a swan.
Swan.
If it had a
It is
swan.
missing a swan. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's an absolutely stunning image. I do agree, Daz. You know, the way that centre tree just sort of says, right, I'm having middle spot here. I'm going to curve in and take the middle position in this spot. There's a nice gap for me to move into. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it works so well. And again, the editing is really nice. Really nice.
I think the thing as well is the standard's been so good that that hasn't made any of our top fives other than you, Daz. But it's so good that could be a winner in so many other competitions.
Yeah.
Whose is this one, Dave?
Well, I was convinced that this would be in most people's top five, if not the winner, because I say it was so strong for me. It jumped out at me straight away, and it was good that my opinion didn't falter. Yeah. And I looked at these photos for hours. Yeah. So
okay. So let's do Jamie next. Lawrence Smith again.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this on Sam's list earlier as well. This was one, as Daz was saying, when you scrolled initially through them, there were certain ones that jumped out, and this one jumped out. It reminded me, Sam, you took an image up in your neck of the woods recently, similar to this, where you got that tree that was illuminated on the bank, and it reminded me a little bit of that. And of course, that's why I picked it, because I love that image of yours, Sam. But no, seriously, I think
that's why I picked it as well.
Well, but as you said earlier on in your appraisal of it, the light on those trees. But for me, that heron just elevates that shot completely. If that heron wasn't there, it would be a lovely shot, but it wouldn't be as good. That heron all of a sudden just takes
a swan.
I knew you
of course. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been two in your face. It's very subtle. That heron is very subtle, and it's catching the light to the heron, and that just made that shot for me.
Yeah.
But it's got mood, it's got atmosphere, it's got light. Its composition works. Yeah, it just stood out for me. I absolutely love the shot.
I'm not surprised Lawrence has done well in this, because I've seen quite a bit of his other work as well. He lives not too far from me. A very good photographer. I always enjoy his stuff when he posts it up on social media.
There's something else to be said about that shot as well. Like I said, I was close to picking it, but there's the detail in the back. He's lost none of the detail in that dark background.
Yeah, true.
There's lots and lots of detail there, and it would be really easy to underexpose that and lose it. So it is a fantastic shot, and I was like I said, I was very close to having that in my top five.
So Simon Ferrigan, Gary,
I love this shot. I can't believe no one else has picked this. This, when I was saying last week or 2 weeks ago that there's a shot that is my favourite shot of the year, it's this. It was. I love it. I just love this shot. I don't know why no one else has picked it. It's weird, but I love the tones. I love the fact that the two silhouettes at the front are darker. I love the little sweep of his coat. I love the tree. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic black and white image. I absolutely love it. I love the little lead through from the bottom left-hand corner through to the guy walking in the distance. I just think it's for me, and I am a bit of a, like contrary person, probably don't pick the same as other people, but I absolutely love it. I love everything about this. This is like literally number 2 in my favourite shots of 2023. I think it's fantastic. So, what more can I say?
It is indeed, even without a swan.
Well, imagine if I had a swan.
If that had a swan, mate.
Yeah, no, I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the way he's processed it. I love the positioning of everything. I even love the way that he's cut out some of the tree. He's not used the whole thing. I just love it all. I think it's fantastic image. So who was it again?
Simon Ferrigan.
Simon Ferrigan, what a shot, mate. Love it. Honestly, love it. No one else does, but I do.
Do you love it, Gary?
I love it. I honestly love it.
Do you love it?
I love it more the more Brewdog I drink, to be honest with you. But I do. I'm really enjoying it.
So my winner is this one from Ellis Wood. I mean, it's just right up my street. And there's a couple of specific aspects to it that I really like. First off, I'm going to take a punt on it being sunrise, not sunset, because of the pastel tone of the light. You normally wouldn't get that sort of pink colour at sunset. So with it being sunrise, he's either hiked up there in the dark or he's lugged his crap up there and camped. either way, huge respect, because, I'm past all that nonsense. I used to love my hiking and camping. And now, I'll do it in July, but you won't find me out in those conditions. So this is
Or is it a drone shot, Dave?
No, I'm pretty sure, because this foreground is pretty close into the camera. I think Ellis is just one of those high-class mountain photographers, having seen his other work. And when you look at this, one of the things in the hills for me that I've always found difficult is to include a strong foreground. You do tend to find yourself starting your image in the even background, but certainly midground. And the way he's swung this diagonal down into the bottom corner and got relatively close up with it with the camera, and yet still pulling you round across in a sweep to that light at the top, I think it's fabulous. And when I saw that Stuart had placed it as well, I thought, oh yeah, that's good, because I didn't want to be a bit of an outlier with it.
Because Stuart's right.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm more right because I've put it at P1.
So I was going to jump in on this one because I wanted to give Ellis a shout out on this. I purposefully didn't choose this because I knew Ellis had taken it, and I saw the video where he did it as well. But yeah, I would absolutely echo that. The composition on this was absolutely stunning. It reminds me a lot of Alex Nail's type of photography. I think I've seen Alex Nail do a similar sort of shot in Torridon. I think it was in the snow on a mountain. We had a ridge of snow doing a similar sort of snake up there, and Ellis has got this composition absolutely bang on.
He has, and I would hang it on the wall and never get tired of it.
Do you not feel?
Shut up! Don't even go there.
No. I'm not going to mention Swans. Do you not feel that there's a little bit too much white in the bottom right-hand corner, though? Do you not feel that that's...
No.
No? Do you not feel it's a bit...
I'll tell you what, it should have been a big lump of black.
No. I'm just saying, do you not feel that if it was compressed a little bit more, if you say it's a little bit lower down, and that...
No, because then you wouldn't have any separation between the foreground rocks and those rocks in the midground.
Yeah. Maybe a swan in there.
The thing is, Gary, in these sort of scenarios, you often find that you've literally got one place you can wedge your tripod legs.
Yeah.
So it may well be that he might have thought, oh, if only I could move the camera down at 12 inches, but his tripod positioning wouldn't let him. I've been in that situation, not in these conditions because I'm too nesh. But
this was in my top 5 until I realised that he hadn't taken a printer up there with him.
My only slight sort of bit of maybe comment on this and I'm sure Ellis won't mind me mentioning this. If I felt like the foreground was just a little bit soft, and I'd have probably been quite tempted to have focus stacked it, but that was just me. But other than that, absolutely perfect.
It's snow, Jamie. Snow's soft. What's the matter with you? It's no.
Okay, so shut up. What we'll do now?
Seriously, I might have cropped it a third of the way up.
We'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
We don't have
no, but we're going to now. I'll reveal the points.
Sorry, shouldn't we? Oh, sorry. Shut up, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll have a break, and then I'll reveal what all these points mean and how it positions them, and then we'll have a heated debate.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Sorry, the reason I jumped in there, so a word from our sponsor. I just thought we haven't given that guy a shout out who sponsored.
I picked him
us the money
in
for the
second.
Was it him? Oh, I wondered what you were talking about, John.
Oh, I didn't know. By the way,
he's the Swan Man. Okay.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that all of these that we're discussing, if you're listening on the podcast, it's going to be pretty grim, but these are all available on the website, including all the scores and the positions and the thumbnail galleries, also including all of the ones that didn't quite make it. But what we're going to do now is I'll explain to you how the point system has narrowed it down and how we're going to arrive at our final result. So the way it's operated is we've given 20 points to first, 19, 18, 17, 16 standard club rules. And the final reckoning puts them in this position. So the winner is John Appleton.
Well done,
Well done,
John.
John.
Yeah, well done,
yeah.
John. Lovely
A
shot.
clear winner
Oh,
by
Houghton
a
Meadows
country
as well.
mile.
I didn't realise that was Houghton Meadows. That's not far from us, Gaz.
Is it
It's
not?
where Houghton Mill is, yeah. You know, the
just-
National
it's just-
Trust place at
I've
Houghton
been to
Mill.
Houghton Mill.
It's just next to the Swan Farm, isn't it?
Should have been. Imagine how well that had done with a swan. No, brilliant, though. Well
So
done, John.
basically
Well done.
59 points, a clear winner by some way. So we have to now decide, there's a tie for second and third, and we need to separate them. Those two images are these. We've got Thomas Stawinski's, he didn't give me a name, so in brackets I've called it Frosty Twigs.
Frosty Twigs.
Martin Evans, he didn't give it a name either. The file name was Image 2. So I've just called it Footbridge and Cascade. So what's happened with this is that Sam and Jamie gave Sam second, Jamie third for Thomas, 1918, total of 37. And Martin's image, Jamie had him as second and Darren had him as third. So again, 37 points.
Yeah.
Now, because Sam, Jamie and Darren have got interest in it, it's between Stuart, me and Gary to separate them.
Well,
But
Stuart's
not here. So,
That's right,
Gary, it's you and me, mate. We've got to decide who's second and who's third.
Well, it's easy for me because I flip flopped between picking that one and the bridge, so I would pick Martin Evans because I kind of knew they were from the same photographer, but I didn't know which one I was going to pick, and that one was in my top 5 for a long time. So, Footbridge and Cascade, or Image 2, whichever one you want to call it, would be my pick, Dave. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
gonna
not
pick the other
going to.
one, right?
No, I'm not actually. Part of this is going to be so nitpicky that I probably shouldn't do it, but I'm going to anyway.
No, do it.
I just feel that it's almost as if it's slightly off level. I just want to bring this side up about 1 degree because this bit of water here looks like it's just not, I don't know. That was the only thing that I would have held against it, but it's a clear second place for me as well.
It does. Yeah, you're right. If you look at the ledge, the second ledge, so you got the water coming out of the top, and then the second ledge.
That
it
should
is
be
on the-
level.
Yeah, it is on the. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
That's
it's
the
rubbish.
only thing,
It's rubbish.
but-
Get rid of it.
I thought
No,
absolutely. I totally agree with everything everybody said on it. I knew I was going to be part of the decider on this, and for me, it's an easy decision. Not taking anything away from Thomas because this is also a lovely image.
Yeah,
and one thing I really like about this image, the way this light throws a shadow down here.
Yeah.
You know, you just know it's natural because that's next to impossible to emulate.
Yeah.
It's a lovely shot. It is a lovely shot. And it's probably really once in X number of years conditions as well. It is a very good shot, but I just think the other one is just, for me, that's slightly more elevated in terms of the processing and the shutter speed and all of that. So that
I think Thomas can be really pleased because that's second year on the trot. He's been well placed.
He's clearly a fantastic photographer, isn't he?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So those decided, we only have one more decision to make. These 3 images are tied for highly commended, and a sort of honourable mention.
Okay.
So Ellis's Mountains, me and Stuart gave it a total of 36. Lawrence sent it in. It's called Dinner's Delight.
Well, that's going bottom for that. That's a terrible title.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Jesus, Lawrence.
Shape
Get a bit
up,
better
Lawrence.
than that. Come on.
So Jamie's got him first. Sam has him commended 36.
Sounds like a dessert.
And then it's Paul's. The title of that one was DSC 8550.
It's even worse.
So I just called it Subglacial Ski Run.
I like that.
36. So because me, Stuart, Jamie and Sam are interested in this is between Gary and Darren to thrash out.
Oh, it does.
Do you know what? It's really easy for me.
Yeah.
The order that them photos are in that I'm looking at on the thumbnails is exactly the positions that I would give them. Do you want me to elaborate more, or do you want me to?
Yeah, talk me into it, Daz. Talk me into it, because I'm not feeling it. Talk me into it.
Well, I just think that. Sorry, I think we mic up there, but yeah, the Ellis Wood shot, as I say, it's beautiful. Really like that.
But the heron, Daz,
And I'm
the
just
heron.
I know there's
Think
there's
about
no
the heron.
on but the one with the heron, again, you know, we keep saying this over and over. I had that in my top 5,
Exactly.
and I took it and I put it in.
Did you have Ellis Woods in your top 5, Daz?
No, I
No.
kept looking at that though. You know, it was tough. You know, you can only pick 5, and I was trying to be a little bit not random, but not choosing everything from the same frosty theme, which is kind of what I like. But looking at where these are positioned now is exactly where I would have them. So I would be Ellis Wood, Robert Smith, and then Paul's. So that's it. And that's final, Dave. You can wrap it up now.
Well, I can't. I mean, I can argue with it, but I probably shouldn't. I mean, I would have them.
Argue with it. Stick the heron up one. Go on.
For me, I would have Dina's Delight up as number 3, because I did nearly pick that one myself. And then Paul Hammett's is a fantastic action image, Daz. It really is.
It is.
So I'd have that as highly commended. And then I would have Ellis's, who is a fantastic shot in itself. But I just look at that and think there's so much like just white on the right hand side, just white. I know.
Gals, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but you are wrong.
Look at the white though.
You know, this.
Join us next week where this continues.
Yeah, I don't. With the 2 of us, I don't know how we separate these 3. I mean, can we just call them?
Can we just have joint third? Can we
place
not just have
winners?
joint third?
Well, no, because these are for sort of 4, 5, and 6, really, aren't they?
Can't we just have joint third though?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they're
No,
prizes.
because
They're
No,
prizes,
there are
aren't
already
they?
3. There's 1, 2, and 3 already.
Oh.
This is for 4, 5,
Well, we
and 6.
could
well, let's
we
just
could
leave
have
it at that
yeah.
then.
Joint fourth.
Let's
Yeah,
Joint
joint
fourth.
second.
Just- yeah.
No. I think first is obvious. Second is Martin Evans. We decide that. Third is Thomas, and then we'll have a joint 4th. All joint. Everything else that was taken joint 4th.
Well, I think we can
No, those.
we can just say they're all highly commended. Those 3. We've got
Yeah, all
positions
highly
1, 2,
commended.
3,
Top
and then
3.
highly
Well,
commended.
Because
Yeah,
they are.
I think
I mean,
so.
let's be honest. They're all brilliant. They're all really
Yep.
good.
They are.
And I have to say as well that we haven't really mentioned. There were an awful lot of images that we didn't even pick that were brilliant.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, so these 3 are all highly commended.
highly commended. Yeah, highly commended. All 3.
Let's
I'll
put it in
mark them up
context.
on the
There's-
website accordingly.
There's no
Thanks,
book. There's no tour of the British railway stations with these as a gallery. There's no emails.
We're not
that
making
should have been-
millions.
We're not making millions. So let's put it in context here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much indeed, gentlemen.
Oh, well done to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
fantastic shots. And
And thanks to you, Dave, for putting all
Yeah,
that together,
yeah,
mate.
Thanks, Dave.
yeah, thanks, Dave.
But the standard was right up there, and there were some amazing shots. I mean, there was, like we were talking before, and I'm not going to go through a load, but there was one shot that none of us have picked, which I'm not going to mention because it might be yours. There's one shot that none of us picked that I was like, wow, that was a brilliant shot, and none of us even picked it. You know, so much fantastic photography. So, thank you. What's the winner win, Dave?
Kudos.
Yeah.
What are we going to
Bragging
give them?
rights.
What are we going to give them?
Yeah.
Well,
Looking
What a
at,
rubbish, aren't we?
I've got some filters. I've got.
We need to get some merch done. That's what we need to do, and then we can.
Look,
have,
if you want
like
it,
one-
if you want it, you can have that. Right, that's still in the
What's
in the
that?
wrapper. It's a
Hairdryer.
gimbal, an iPhone gimbal.
Haven't you got to review it first?
Yeah, I'm supposed to, but that'll be all right. If you want it, you have to do a review. You can have a. It's fine.
He'd have to come and meet you and film you on it doing the review.
Yeah, exactly. Which is prize enough in itself, really. Thanks, Dave, for doing that. Very much appreciated. And thank you so much for everyone who entered. And if you didn't get your photo in, trust me, there were so many really good ones. And we really appreciate the effort you've put in to put them in. So thank you so much for that, really genuinely.
Do you know what? Perhaps what we could do, not next week, but somewhere further down the line when we run out of topics, what we could do, we could just pick one photo each from the competition that didn't get mentioned, and we could perhaps discuss why it didn't get a mention.
Yeah, like that one I picked that no one mentioned, which is the best shot of 2023 that no one else has picked. What's the matter with you guys? Seriously, what's the matter with them? What's the matter with them? Can't remember the name of the guy who took it now, but what's the matter with them?
That's that brood dog kicking
Yes,
in.
It's good stuff. I did warn you. It's good
Because
stuff.
it was that strong.
It is. Yeah.
Right, okay, so let's move on to another. We've been going for an hour and a half already, although.
Oh, bloody
Yeah,
hell.
it feels like two.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave.
Anyone who's listening on the podcast, we're really, really sorry.
Well, you say that, but like I said before, it's now a video cast. So if you're on Spotify, you can actually watch us if you want to, and you can see the images. But
Not
if
while you're
not,
driving, though.
no, not while you're driving.
No, don't do
See,
that.
the acid test is at what stage would Darren have stopped what he's doing and come in and had a look at anything we've just said? The short answer is at no stage. So,
Just an hour and a half of waffle, really. But more swans is what you need to take from it. Let's talk about threads, Daz.
Yeah, well, I was quite excited actually when Threads kind of came out because
What is threads?
I kind of-
what the hell is Threads? Just out of interest.
Okay, so it's like the alternative now to Twitter or X, if you like, and when Elon Musk, took over Twitter, I don't know. I just the stuff that I was kind of getting on Twitter. I thought I just don't know why I'm seeing all of this stuff.
Bit of a cesspool,
just kind of,
isn't it?
It really was a bit of a cesspool, yeah. So anyway, I was quite excited, like when Threads came out. But going off on a bit of a side note, like I had to really kind of change all my settings on Instagram because I was getting so much crap coming through on Instagram. Anyway, now people, if they want to follow me, they have to request a follow because I was kind of getting like 50 new followers a day, and it was all rubbish. It was all bots, that kind of stuff. But so I had high hope for Threads, but now Threads seems to be exactly the same thing as Instagram. I'm getting all of this rubbish on my feed, and I just wondered if any of you was using it. And you get all of this because I'm now kind of going back to Twitter, unfortunately, and I've just got to kind of ignore all the things that I don't want to see on Twitter. But yeah, Threads for me is just filling up thick and fast with a load of rubbish.
So Threads is essentially Instagram's version of Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
it's yeah.
So
they brought it
so
in.
surely it was
Facebook,
always going to
wasn't it?
go the same way. I mean,
Well,
why would it have been
don't know.
different?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, because was it Mark Zuckerberg, isn't it, that owns it? He
Mark
was,
who?
he was Zuckerberg. Is it Zuckerberg?
Who?
What's his name?
What, who?
What did I say? Go on, pronounce it for me.
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. What did I say? Zuckerberg.
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 That was on the
I thought he was saying it was going to be quite a not a toxic place, quite a friendly. And do you know what? If it wasn't for Mikey Swales, I think I would have got rid of Threads. But I think he posts a lot on there, and I like Mikey and I like his stuff actually.
Well, we all like Mikey.
So I'm
don't we?
I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on just for Mikey. But if Mikey leaves, I'm following suit.
I think it's just another version of Twitter and another place to waste your time. Personally, I started to use it. I'm not looking at it much these days. For me, I don't get a lot of engagement on it, so it loses interest to me. But with social media, there's so many. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got Twitter or X, whatever it's called. You've got Threads. I guess you've got things like Flickr and other stuff that's going on. There's so many places, and you just get lost with it all. Really, I like Twitter because I like the engagement, I like the dialogue, and I think there's a lot of photographers on there that have interesting conversations and stuff. So I quite like that. But apart from that, I use my Facebook photography page to share pictures, and I'll use Twitter to share pictures. And every now and again, I'll post on Threads just for the sake of seeing what happens to the thread more than anything else. But it's just another place to waste your time, in my opinion. I think it's not got a lot to it that's adding much value.
But I mean, the thing with all of these new social media things, I mean, Vero came along a couple of years ago, and it, just sparkled for a minute or two and then faded away like a cheap firework. And it seems to me that it's impossible to create something that is going to be any different simply because it's the same people using it.
Yeah.
And if you have something else that comes along, the likelihood of it gaining any traction is pretty slim. So you invest time and energy setting up your profile and getting a few followers and this, that, and the other. But sure as eggs is eggs, it's going to peter out. I mean, it's not first to market. It's too late. It's all been done.
Yeah.
Because everybody is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Something new is never ever going to get any traction.
Yeah.
It's like Google Plus, isn't it? Google Plus was the same. Google Plus.
Yeah, Google Plus.
They all promise something new, but they can't. If you look at replicating the same shit,
if the likes of Google can't get any traction, what's the hopes of anybody else getting any traction in a similar vein?
Is Twitter has become a bit like the Wild West. That's the problem with Twitter. It's almost, since Elon Musk has taken it over, it's deregulated. It's worse than it was in the first place. Like I get stuff now on my Twitter feed that I just don't want to see, and it's like you could go to following rather than for you, which is what they try and sell you or give to you. But some of the stuff now that I see on my Twitter feed is just stuff that I just don't want to see. But it is the first and the best, and it's Threads might capture 20% of the Twitter market, but eventually it'll fail because Twitter was there before, and it's just Twitter Lite, really. That's all it is.
Yeah, I wish you get rid of that for you tab altogether.
Never will go, Daz, because they can't sell you shit, can they? They can't
sell
you anything.
I mean, come on, boys. It's the same as your telly. There's an on-off switch. Yeah. You can just not click that tab.
But I think it defaults to that.
Well,
tab.
I just click the following tab.
I appreciate that, Dave. But what I'm saying is, when I fire up Twitter, I'm already kind of looking at what I'm looking at and scrolling before I realise, I'm not on the following tab, I'm on the For You tab, and by that time I've already seen stuff. Just thinking,
the thing is, you engage with one thing. Like for instance, right? I'm going to give you a for instance here. I saw something. I don't know why I clicked on it, but it was that Lee Anderson. 30p Lee.
30p
Lee Anderson, right? And he did something that I watched for some reason, and now my timeline is flooded with him, and it's like in the For You, and it's like if you click on something by mistake, or let's say there's somebody who you hate says something interesting, you click on them once, and then you get more and more and more and more and more and more of them on the For You one. So it's like, and like you say, Daz, it defaults back to the For You. So it's like you don't want to see it, but it's almost like, but these we've known for years and years, these apps are programmed to feed the addiction. It's to feed the algorithm. It's to give you what you want. It's or not necessarily what you want, but what it wants to give you. That's just the nature of the beast. But Threads is like the poor relative of Twitter, and it's never going to take off because Twitter will probably never allow it to take off.
But is it not fair to say though that if you find yourself being deluged with stuff you don't want to see, well, don't fire up Twitter.
But
I mean, the thing is though, but you've just pointed out the algorithm is carefully designed to suck people in, and suck being the right word because you're just treated as a load of suckers.
Yeah.
If you don't scroll down it, if you go to the I just want to see people I'm following, it's quite an interesting and pleasant experience. As Jamie says, you end up engaging with people that you'd like to engage with, and in the event somebody posts something you don't want to see ever again, you unfollow them.
Depends
I
who you're following, Dave.
I mean, I remember it's like back in the day, Mary Whitehouse used to bang on about Barbara Windsor's knockers being outrageous, and it was always a case of, well, don't watch them then. Yeah. It's not compulsory.
No.
I mean,
you're right.
if they're marketing to a planet full of sheep and all these sheep suck it up, that's fine. Be a sheep and go, oh my God, I'm being marketed to. Or don't be a sheep and don't scroll on like a robot. Don't be their target audience.
Don't you think though that it takes quite a bit of self-control and self restraint?
It just takes being a grown up.
No,
it just takes good. Hang on a minute. I'm the wrong side of 50 and I'm sat here like a muppet scrolling up this thing. And look, there's my 9-year-old daughter doing the same thing. What's wrong with this picture?
But I want to be offended, Dave. I want to be unhappy.
Well, in that case, don't moan about it. Say, oh, I love the For You because I get to be offended.
I didn't bring up the conversation. I was quite happy.
No. No, I'm half with Dave there. I mean, as soon as I realised that I'm not on the following tab, it's quite easy for me to shut it down. It's just that when I fire it up and it defaults to that before you know where you are, I'm questioning why is all this crap all over my feed. Then I realise, right, it's the For You tab rather than the following.
But
tab.
Threads is not the answer, is it? We know that, don't we?
I don't think so, because as I say, Threads now has just become another Instagram where I'm just getting bombarded with stuff that I've got no interest in seeing whatsoever, so I think I might just get rid of Threads.
All I get now from Instagram is Japanese girls messaging me saying, I love your work.
Yeah.
They don't really love my work. They're just trying to get me to buy Bitcoin. And I now engage in that, which is the worst thing. I say, oh, which bit do you like? Which one of my photos do you like? And then 20 messages down a conversation, they say, oh, you consider Bitcoin? And I'm like, all right.
And
but I knew
exactly
it's coming.
Why your thread is full of Japanese ladies, because you engage with them.
My thread's not full of Japanese. Do you know my Twitter thread? Do you know what it's full of? It's full of people dying. And it's not. It's full of people dying in horrible ways, like from car crashes or whatever, on the For You. And I haven't selected that. I haven't clicked on those. I haven't decided that that's what I want to see.
You didn't tick that interest box then?
No, I get this one called Vicious Videos and like Find Out or something. And it's like, I didn't pick those. They just decide to show me like horrible videos that I don't want to see. And that is not me. That's genuinely not me. Instagram, yeah, fair enough. Japanese, like whatever that. That
bit of swan porn.
Yeah, swans of the Orient.
Going off on a bit of a side note, but something that Jamie said. I've been posting on my Facebook page, probably more, and I don't post very often, but like Darren Knight Photography on Facebook is where I've been posting all of my
Link
pictures.
below.
You've been doing a few spiels lately, I saw as well. Quite nice.
Well, I only do them when I'm on holiday,
Mm.
so I've got time. So I sit in the van,
Yeah,
because
good.
it's a bit cramped where I sit. So, Els is asleep, so I don't walk about a lot. So I just sit there, and I've got time to compose something, and send and attach a photo. And I quite enjoy doing it when I'm on holiday.
You need a bigger
So,
van, mate. Have you thought of a Class A?
I'm thinking about getting a smaller van.
How many followers have you got on your Facebook page?
Oh, I've got over 3,000, and I probably engage with about 30.
And how many of them do you reckon are real? Because they're
all of them.
Oh.
Definitely all of them. Every single one of them.
We talked about this before, Jamie, didn't we?
Yeah.
But you suddenly get
Well, the ones that are real are probably the 30 that I kind of communicate.
Like you look
with.
at all these people and you think, you haven't got a real name. Their names are ridiculously It's all a con. Everything's a con. Do we not think that? Everything regarding social media, 99% of it is just a con, just to try and make us feel like we need to keep pressing the buttons. Or have I had too much to drink?
I think the fact that 5 middle-aged blokes, excluding Sam because he's a young kid,
I'm almost middle-aged.
5 middle-aged blokes that discuss. Well, okay, fair enough. Are getting heated or discussing a social media platform says it all, really, doesn't it? What the hell's going on in our lives that this is becoming a topic that we want to discuss? Just ignore it. As Dave said, switch it off. It shouldn't let us. But apart from Gary, of course, because Gary likes the fight of the Instagram or the Twitter and the debate, and exactly, it winds you up. So it feeds your passion. Yeah. But it's the world we live in. It's driving the economy, guys. These social media. It's driving the influencers. So you just have to get on the bus or get off. Simple as.
Well, I was also going to come in because as Jamie quite rightly pointed out, I am the youngest person currently in this 5. So maybe people currently
forever.
Maybe people are wondering what my outlook is on social media, and I've been staying very quiet for all of this. And the reason is I really don't use it much at all. I use Instagram every now and again when I can be bothered posting an image to Instagram. I'll post on Instagram and Twitter. All of that stuff about the For You and the you feed and all of that kind of thing. I use Twitter so rarely that I have literally no idea what you're talking about. But I do sometimes post on Twitter every now and again, and I've had some really, really nice conversations with people on things that I've posted. And every now and again when I do go into Twitter, as Jamie said, as for the photographers that you follow, it is quite a good system. I'd say better than Instagram for having those conversations. And especially, if it's people or people you're friendly with as well, you can have a sort of a quick chat on Twitter, and it does work really well for that. I've got no idea how it compares to threads because I never bothered setting up threads. From that point of view, I think Twitter still has a lot of use for the photographer if you can just ignore all the rubbish which is posted your way, because that is what social media is largely designed to do, is to push things your way to make you buy stuff, or push things your way to influence your political leaning or whatever. If you can shut that out, then it's a fantastic tool. And that's what I do with social media. Is I do ignore most of the noise whenever I can, but you can spark up some really interesting conversations with people sometimes on there.
Exactly. And we could extend our pub analogy. We call ourselves a pubcast. And if you walk into a pub with some mates, you talk to your mates, and there might be a heated debate going on with some political nut job in the corner, and you just filter him out. You don't pay attention to him. You just wait for somebody to bloody hell, a thumbs up or something.
Where's that come from?
I don't know. It
came from Elon Musk.
But I mean, and you might have some girlies offering you Japanese swans burgers or something, and no thanks, love, I've eaten. It in real life, you filter out what you're not interested in, It's not a difficult process. I've never quite understood people that end up with a compulsion for things that they're perfectly able to control. It's like, oh, look at those lemmings. Oh, I better run off a cliff with them because they're doing it, so I have to.
Yeah. I quite like the weekly competitions that are on Twitter. Actually, the Share Mondays. There used to be Wex Mondays, but that's all changed now. And then there's the Photo Speed one as well. I quite like them, and I've been lucky enough to be chosen in the book last year twice, and previous year I got in once as well. And that's nice because it's other photographers looking at your work and giving you, recognition for your own work, and it's quite a nice little community that.
There's some really good quality stuff being shared as well.
There is.
I mean,
There
it's
is,
enjoyable
absolutely.
just to look through it.
Yeah, and it's.
I mean, I think we've. Oh, sorry, go on, Joe.
No, carry on, mate.
No, I was going to say, I think, we're all in agreement. I mean, even though we've said different things, I think we're all in agreement. Like with, if you don't want to look at it, don't look at it, which is, I totally get what Dave's coming from. But I just wish that my feed wasn't filled up with a load of crap that I got no interest in whatsoever. But, but again, they wouldn't sell you things or promote things if they didn't actually push that, which is fine. But in an ideal world, I think Twitter's really good if you could just subscribe to the people that you like, follow the people you like, and that is all you ever see. I would love it if it was that. But I take Dave's point, and, if I don't like it, delete it. You all right, Gal?
More Japanese swans, that's what I say.
You can take over there, Pubcast.
Well,
Okay.
I think
We filled for you, Gary.
Thanks so much. No one would ever know I was gone there, would they?
Jamie anchored it brilliantly.
Yeah, sweet.
Yep.
True
Yep.
pro.
Yep. Well, I think with that we've been going an hour and 48 minutes. So I think with that we should probably call it a day, and we can talk about a couple of the other subjects we were going to talk about next time. But I think. I mean, we filled most of this up, to be honest with you, with the photography competition. Yes, Jamie?
Can I ask Daz, are you giving up fishing?
yes and no.
Sorry, it's cryptic, but I'm Facebook friends with Daz, and all I've seen on my Facebook feed talking about social media this week is he's selling all of his fishing gear.
No, you see, that's the thing. You see, I'm selling a lot of fishing gear. Some of it belongs to my son.
Oh, okay.
And the other stuff that's not gone on yet is stuff that I've got like 2 or 3 of. Like I've got 3 bivvies, like when we used to go fishing as a family. So I'm getting rid of probably 50% of it, but I am keeping the bare bones of it, So if I ever do resurrect it, it's there ready for me.
And we haven't mentioned either, which we should have done. Welcome back to the chair, Daz.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the chair.
Yeah, it's back, mate.
Back in its rightful place. We've missed you.
Yeah.
So, any more questions before we, Jamie, not got any more?
No, that's it. I was just interested. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we'll call it a day. But like I said, we spent most of the time on the photography competition, and we probably should go back to that and say thank you very much to everyone who's entered. Even if your photos didn't make it, to the sort of long list, it was a really high standard, and we really appreciate every single. Well, other than one, other than that one, that one. We won't talk about that one. Other than that one, we want to say thank you to every single photo that was entered. I'm just joking. I'm just winding everyone up. But there were some fantastic photos. So thank you very much. Well done to the winners. If you do want this thing,
hairdryer,
John, if you do want it, let me know, and we'll arrange it to get sent to you. But you have to do a review. We'll be back next week. Hopefully there'll be 6 of us. You never know. Maybe some more news on that, guys. Maybe some more news on that.
Maybe some exciting news.
Maybe some exciting news next week.
You
Probably should.
Maybe not, though.
No.
Are you getting rid of me?
Again.
No, that's that.
No, we
that-
can't get rid of you, Sam.
Good.
You-
Good.
You're
Next
the
week it's
young,
called-
good-looking one, Sam.
Yeah, you're for the younger audience.
Something for
You're for the 50
yeah,
plus.
yeah. You're something for
We're
the
for the 80 plus.
yeah.
How are you going to edit it when one of us does a Tommy Cooper live on air, Gary?
Just leave it in. Bring up views. That thumbnail that week will be whoever it is dies.
We're always banging on about how old we are. And we're only as old as we feel. I'm
We're not that
97.
old, are we? I don't feel old. I don't feel old at all.
No, I do.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
God, yeah.
No, I don't feel old at all. I could.
This week I do.
I could go for at least another 5 years. I reckon.
I feel about a stone fatter as well than I did before Christmas.
Do you? I'm doing
Yeah,
great.
You and me
I'm
both.
doing
me too.
great. I could run to a chippy now. I'm doing great. I'm more than happy. I mean, yeah, I feel good at the moment. Probably a beer, to be honest with you. Well, we're going to wrap this up or what? Are you going to let me?
Well, we've been trying
Well, you're
to.
not letting me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week with possibly some news, maybe some not news, maybe 6 of us. Who knows what's going to go on? And I really
Just
hope
wrap
you-
the bloody thing up, man, for God's
Oh,
sake.
wrap
too
it up,
much.
Gal. Gal, you just got to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Yeah, but it's not that,
Sponsored by Brewdog.
it's not that easy. It's not that easy, Daz.
I'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Until next week. See you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers, guys. See you.
Not as good as when I do it. Goodbye.
That easy.
Masterclass,
I'm disappointed.
Daz. Masterclass.
You're hosting next week. Like it or not. Right.